Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. I hate to be standing between you and the delicious lunch outside, but I will do my best to not stand in the way and educate you on what we are here to present. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aalap. I am from Skyflow. We are a data privacy vault, and we help secure anything that is sensitive. Today, I will talk to you about architecting for trust in the age of DPDP, ever-evolving compliance needs. How many of you heard DPDP in the last 1 week? A show of hands. I'm sure you have heard for a long time, but last 1 week has been buzzing with DPDP conversations across the industries and the customers that I talk to. Let's talk a little bit about why DPDP is important. DPDP is important and the laws are important because there have been data breaches across the globe with well-known companies, known business providers, leading to lack of trust. And that's why, like all other governments, including Government of India, we're coming up with DPDP compliance. Let me give you a little bit of sneak peek into what it means, and let's do a little bit of translation. DPDP is here. We've got 18 months to comply. The penalties are high. And as enterprises, we need to ensure our end customers' data is secured. Let's translate it out into 3 major requirements. Consent enforcement. This is very critical, especially taking data governance to the next layer. Why is it important to enforce consent? Tokenization of PII. Have you heard of tokenization before? Anybody? Everybody? Tokenization, PCI, obfuscation, right? Tokenization is very, very important. That's where Skyflow helps. We help you generate context-preserving referential tokens when it comes to PII information as well. That means your analytics could work, your AI flows won't break, and I'll dwell a little deeper into few of the architecture references that you can use and what our customers have implemented with. And then data principal rights. Logging is important. So is ensuring that audit logs are presented. Archival is important. DSR requests are important. How do you implement those? So this is the rule 6, and that's what Skyflow can help you with, right? But the question remains how to solve for PII the right way. Well, of course, you've got the risk and the compliance, and you've got your CISO sitting on your head, and your CTOs wanting to implement. How do you solve for PII the right way? This is something that a global CIO that I was talking to mentioned, and this is so very powerful. When you want to solve for PII the right way, assume that there will be a data breach and make the stolen data 100% useless. Correct. But what if you tokenize the data? That's where Skyflow can help. So great question, and that's your answer. The reason the data is getting stolen is because it is sprawled across multiple layers of the system. Today it is not centralized at one place. Of course we are doing encryption, of course we are doing hashing, but what if somebody gets access to your private hashed key? Then your internal actor who actually stole the data is actually able to use it and sell it. And that's why solutions like Skyflow become paramount for you to tokenize the PII information. Imagine your table looked like a bunch of, database tables looking like a bunch of UUID strings. It's useless to somebody who steals it. However, more importantly, you can actually do analytics on top of it without even decrypting or de-tokenizing the data. That's where our polymorphic encryption comes into place. That's where Skyflow can help. So great question and a great insight. And this is not a architecture that we are recommending. It's something that Gartner has recommended, IEEE has recommended. Companies like Goldman Sachs, Netflix, and Googles of the world do it. What do I mean by that? Centralized PII information. Have a single source of truth. So even your DSAR requests are a single source of truth which you are able to prove out. Centralizing PII and adding tokenization and encryption on top of it is the way to go. And that's what Skyflow has done. We have built the vault for everyone else. That's how your architecture would essentially look like. You see a small box of Skyflow, but imagine you have a customer data platform and you're connecting with multiple analytics stores. If you are on Snowflake or Databricks or even DynamoDBs of the world, today somebody is running queries by decrypting your database, decrypting the sensitive information because they just want to know what is the age group of people who have bought your product. How does it sound fair to you and I as customers that all of my data is being seen by everybody for just knowing my age and what product I bought? And that's why we as enterprise leaders have a responsibility to tokenize it and make sure that even the analytics are run on obfuscated data, on tokenized data. Imagine your database when somebody runs a query, none of the PI or sensitive information is ever visible to anybody, yet you get the results that you want. Skyflow empowers customer data platforms by tokenizing the sensitive information and getting you the meaningful results. Tokenization, well, there are some arguments that it works for only few of the use cases. Encryption only works in rest and in motion. But imagine when PII and the breach of PII happens when it comes to Gen AI use cases. Your agents, your models, your LLM models, it's disastrous. It's preposterous. And if you look at it, PII is just 1% of, is less than 1% of your actual data in your databases, but it poses more than 99% of the risks to your businesses. Breach of PII is breach of trust. Breach of trust is loss of business. Loss of business is shutting down of companies. That's where the bottom line is. Gen AI even raises the stakes higher. What do I mean by that? When you talk about generative AI, here are the few security risks that it poses. Imagine you are, well, how many of you have heard of those breaches where somebody just copy pasted the PII information into ChatGPT and everything got compromised? LLM models do not have rows, columns, do not have delete button. The other day I was reading an article on LinkedIn and somebody was comparing generative AI with an Hindi word called I. I, if you are from Maharashtra and others, refers to mom, mother. And they say generative AI knows everything. So does I. My I, that's my mother, she knows everything. But if I tell her not to tell something to anybody, she won't. But your AI agents and model would. That's the difference. You've never been able to delete it. So yes, Gen I, well, it poses and amplifies your risks even bigger. No rows, no columns, no delete. How does Skyflow help here? We have introduced something called as AI Privacy Gateway. Imagine you have a customer support chatbot. A customer reaches out to you and says, hey, my name is Aalap. I need to get certain information related to my account. What your model does is, it takes, your agent would, chatbot would insert the data as is, do the magic that it needs to do and reverts back with certain responses. With Skyflow's AI Privacy Gateway, what we do is before the prompt is even injected, we help you identify the PII, convert it into a context preserving token. So yes, your LLM model will get, my name is name_1 and my date of birth is DOB_1. It does the magic it needs to do. And the moment it responds back, we replace the tokens with the actual PII values. So your customer's end-to-end experience remains seamless. Yet, PII never enters into an LLM model. So we do a bunch of things on these aspects. We would love to talk to you and help you secure the posture of your PII information. We're at the booth right there. Come stop us, talk to us, and let us all together make sure that our end customer's trust is intact. We become DPDP compliant, and more importantly, we do the right thing. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.